Only coffee.
Premium account on X is required. Okay, whatever. Go live. Okay, then remove it. Yes. Don't care. I never go on X. Okay, we are live. Good morning, humanity. Woo.
It is a good morning.
It is to be alive.
Yes, it is.
Oh, damn, I just spilled coffee on my lap.
Shenanigans.
Oh, my God.
Well, so this is, it's going to be tough because the camera's way up there and you don't want to be looking at something else. But you know what? It's just fucking coffee time.
It's coffee time, so just look at the screen. I don't care. Good morning, Sabra. Got our New Brunswick peeps starting to come in.
So yeah, it's been an interesting week, shall I say?
Oh.
Haha, that's right. That's what I was waiting for the face.
It's not that good. It's okay. It'll do. It'll do, donkey. It'll do, donkey. Okay, so
Do you want to explain the face with the coffee?
Kevin?
Because everyone's just usually, like, we're usually loving coffee.
I know. I got Kevin to make me coffee today with just butter in it, blended. No honey, no
Salt or cream. Well, there is salt in there, but
yeah, no cream.
no cream and no honey.
So it's just a butter coffee, damn it. And I'm
But she's
spilling
now-
it all over
She's just a
myself.
spilly talker.
I am. I've got coffee all over my jeans now. Anywho's, yeah. It was one of those weeks. I had some seizures.
Yeah. So Monday night we were blessed with two. One at 1:30 and the other at 4. And then Tuesday night there was one shortly after we went to bed at like 12:30.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kicked my ass.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about it.
Yeah.
Is that
It takes so much energy.
these experiences, like Mack truck or locomotive or train or whatever, just roll right over you.
Oh, big time. Big time. It takes so much energy to create those seizures, you know? And so it just completely wipes me out. I mean, I was down and out for a couple of 2 long days.
Yeah.
Just, I'd sit up in the couch and my head would go over and fall asleep. So it was yucky. It wasn't pretty.
Exciting times.
Wasn't pretty. So anyway, that just that's why we didn't do a coffee time on Tuesday, because of that. So yeah. So here we are.
I wanted to do a live stream, just pick up the phone and do it, and she'd be like
oh my God.
on the couch.
He's like trying to embarrass me or something. He thinks it's funny if he puts me in a position where I'm humiliated or something.
Oh yeah, sure. That's what it's all about.
That's what it is. It's a humiliation ritual. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know if any of you have.
So that's the topic for today, because it makes life very interesting and dynamic and kind of unpredictable, shall I say.
Mm-hmm.
Very unpredictable.
Yep.
And, anybody that's lived with, I don't want to call it even a condition, but it's an experience of seizures.
Yeah.
And those that take care of those people that experience seizures.
Yeah.
If there's no warning for any of them, as we experience,
yep,
then it's life on the edge.
It is
what it is. And
because I could be feeling great, and then that night just
it's done.
Have a bunch of seizures.
Mm-hmm.
So feeling great is no indication, actually.
No. And the thing is that it makes a lot of other decisions in life that people that, I don't even say normal people, but because what is that? But it makes a lot of decisions that other people would make, a lot of other people would make, and just go with it. Like getting a job
Yeah.
and going to work.
Jump in
and
the vehicle and go to
jump
the
in the
grocery
vehicle and away
store.
you go.
Doesn't work like
And
that.
going swimming
Yeah.
and climbing stairs and anything else, dear? Going in a canoe or a boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it changes the dynamic of every single one of those activities.
Yeah. Those things become life-threatening, even though I've done
Potentially.
them my whole life.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So this is the
reality.
It's the reality, but it's also discussion that a lot of people need to hear, because if you are not experienced with that or know someone that is, I mean, even now, like you look at now, and a lot of people have children that have, say, autism or something like that, right? I mean, that falls into the same category. It really does.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's not, maybe not life-threatening but nonetheless, it's a dynamic in life.
Yes, that you have to
that
consider.
You now have to change your trajectory.
It's true.
Because where you might have had a good, stable, secure paying job.
Yeah.
Right? That is now instantly off the table.
They don't want you anymore. That's what happens.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had several occurrences.
I've been fired a few times.
Yeah, but we've had several occurrences where people said, yeah, no, that's great. Let's do it. And then they learn or they experience a seizure or whatever. And it's just like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. So
that's a liability issue.
Any opportunity for me to contribute in that way is also very difficult too.
Yes.
So it's a discussion that people need to hear.
Yeah.
And they need to understand.
Because it's not, it really isn't as simple as just go get a job.
Yeah.
Go
get a goddamn job. How come you're not getting a job?
Well, I would get a job.
Bastard. Go get a job.
I would get a job, but it's not like they'd want to hire me because I am a liability. So, and Kevin.
And honestly, she's had seizures all over the place.
Yeah.
She had a seizure in the kitchen, smashed her face. Right?
Broke my mouth.
Had a seizure, and I wasn't there because I was working. I was fucking working.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it was like around the block.
But still,
I wasn't physically there.
Yeah.
And she's had seizures in the vehicle before.
Yeah.
A couple of them. One, we were parked with the cops, and that was a COVID issue.
Yeah.
But the other one, we were driving on the Highway 400 at 110 kilometers an hour. Mm-hmm. In Barrie, and she starts having a seizure.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a safe place for me to be to have a seizure.
Well, it's fully strapped in, right? So totally. What the heck?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So anyway,
and just like lying in bed, like I'll take a seizure in bed.
Oh, any day. Yeah,
I just don't.
Not that we want them.
No, we don't want them at all. But I don't want to be having seizures when I'm standing in the kitchen cooking and then
with concrete countertops.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
No.
Yeah. So that's the reality, my reality the last 10 years.
Our reality.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Our reality.
Yes, it has been our reality. And you have done very well as my primary caregiver, and I appreciate you very much. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for everything that you do.
I know.
Yeah.
I love you, dear.
I know you do. And I'm just very thankful, honestly, because not everybody would do what you do. It's true.
You learn, it's really interesting because I guess what's the last 6 months or so, 8 months, they've all been nocturnal.
Yes, they've been in bed,
which has been a huge thing. The only thing is that she's out for 4 days.
Yeah, it knocks me right the hell out.
Right. So anything that had been planned, right, is now off the table.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
And it just is.
Yeah.
But
we accept it because we accept that's just the way it is. Some people haven't accepted it so well, but yeah.
But we, it's very interesting because people say, well, why don't you get a service dog or something like that? She doesn't need a service dog. She has a service Kevin.
Jesus, Kevin.
Because we're working on some different things so that we can create an income online.
Yeah.
And we've danced around this for a decade now.
Over a decade.
And, it's it's just learning the steps.
Well, I mean,
Right?
we
We've got
had
lots
we
of
had to
ideas.
we had to finally do it because it's been impossible. Like Kevin has tried to work, he has tried to have contracts, construction contracts and stuff like that, and he finds it too hard because he's concerned, right, about me and afraid he's going to come home and see some bloody mess. And I don't
Or
blame
worse.
him because it's happened,
Or worse.
or dead, because that's very possible too. That's the reality of it. So, I mean, we decided that we are putting our efforts into creating this, finally doing this online business empire. That's what we're going to call it, because we've danced around it for like actually 15 years. We've actually talked about doing this kind of thing.
And you know what? A lot of people have ideas about things.
Oh, yeah.
And we certainly had a lot of ideas about things.
Big ideas.
What's the first thing you do when you have an idea? You go buy the domain name, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think I have 30 domain names now. Right? And we're not doing all of them, but
no.
Think about it. It's an interesting place to start. The missing piece is, how do you get?
It's the marketing.
It's the marketing side of things.
Online
right?
marketing, because it's not as simple as, oh, just put it out there. No, it's not like that. You have to understand the freaking algorithms on the different platforms, and you have to make sure you please the algorithms, because if you don't, then they're going to punish you and they're going to ban you and they're going to shut your account down.
But all of that aside, right? Those are
All
things that you can learn, right?
Yeah.
And you can discover.
And we are learning.
Right? And we are. And it's really, really cool. But for us, it's been the missing piece, because we've had a lot of online ideas, and shall we do a course, and
well, we've had
what about
this
website and that website, and the missing piece was the digital marketing,
being able to market ourselves,
being able to learn how to effectively do that. So we've got that now, which is really good.
Yes.
But it's still, you got to build it, right?
Oh, yes.
It's not about pulling the trigger and, like, lo and behold.
Yeah.
But
although some people have had that kind of success.
No, and that's fine. It's just, we acknowledge that we need to, and we definitely have, stripped away as many limiting beliefs and decisions and paradigms and stuff like that. That
cleaned all that stuff up.
That would potentially hold us back, which is great, because we've got the tools for that.
Yeah.
But it's still, I find it, I mean, we see stories of this online, and people are at their wits' end.
Yeah.
Right. Also, too, with the way the economy and society and all that stuff in general is going now.
Yeah.
And we watched a video of a lady trying to pawn her ring.
Yeah.
For $500 so she could get medication and food for
just for them to hold it, so
just
she
to hold it for 2 weeks,
get the copay or something,
or whatever it was. But
deposit.
That's a shame. This is wrong.
Yeah.
Right. We think it's wrong. So
did I already talk about my experience last week when no, I didn't.
What's this experience?
At the grocery store, where I hugged a homeless man.
Oh, yeah.
I know that sounds like blasphemy, doesn't it? But I did. I hugged a homeless man. And I'll have to tell you, I've been wanting to do it. I'll be honest with you. I've been wanting to do it because my heart pours out to them. It truly, truly does. When we see them standing there with their little sign, like
anything helps.
Anything helps, So I asked him, I said, anything helps? And he's like, yeah. He said, I'm just here.
It's not just about the money.
It's not just about the money. He said, I'm here even if I can get a smile, or
just acknowledgement.
Just
about being human.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Oh, just my heart oh my God, broke right open. So I said, well, would a great big hug help? And he's like, yeah, it would. So we gave each other a great big hug, and he was so happy. Oh my goodness. He was so happy to get that hug and feel human, like he said, and you can tell that that's not something that usually happens. he doesn't usually get a hug. And I mean, his jacket was really dirty, his hands were dirty, everything was dirty, you know, but he was very kind. He really was. He was super kind, and he was so grateful, wasn't he, Kev?
Yeah.
He was so grateful. Like it touched my heart to no end. And
But this opens up a complete other discussion.
it does.
Is our humanness, right? And I want you to put language aside, because for some people, language is an issue.
Yeah.
But we need to bring the dignity back into being human.
Yes, we absolutely do. Yeah.
And it starts with compassion, I think.
Absolutely.
Because who's ever heard the phrase "walk a mile in my shoes"?
Yeah.
Right? Because everyone's all too quick to judge, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they're this and they're that, because they see one sign or one evidence of behavior to them that they've now created an equal sign. That equals fill in the blank. That equals fill in the blank. They're standing outside a grocery store with a sign, therefore
they must be an addict.
Right? They must be a fill in the blank, right?
Yeah.
So what that does
judgments.
is we make these equal sign judgments in our mind, and it's, you know, it's run by society and stuff, and maybe you've had some, you know, similar experiences here and there and whatever, but you cannot.
I agree, Lori. Compassion, empathy, and respect all need to come back. Absolutely, they do. No question. And I'm okay with being the person at the front of the line who is starting to do that, because I can't stand that there is this absolute disregard for the person standing in front of you so often when we're out in public. People's heads are down, right? Their heads are down looking at their phones, or they're just avoiding eye contact altogether. Have you noticed that pattern?
Well, I mean, that's a classic. That's definitely
that.
cemented itself in the last 4 years for sure, and we know why that is. But
sure,
the thing too is that a lot of people have come. There's a lot of people out there with some nasty preconceptions about things.
Yeah,
absolutely. Right, or they've got some societal or familial or cultural beliefs.
Yeah,
that, you know, and I'm going to say the caste system. But the caste system is not just about India. It's about everywhere.
Oh yeah,
right? It's literally everywhere. So
we think it's an Indian thing.
No, but to think about this is that we tie this now in to the idea of someone that has a condition, or they're in a wheelchair, or you know they're in the grocery store and their kid is screaming bloody murder because the child's autistic and stuff like that. Everyone's just, you know, losing their shit in their minds.
Yeah.
Right. Because, well, I take that kid out of here because you're disturbing the peace or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's a caste system. Right. And we're all playing a role. And I mean, honestly, we've all been guilty of it.
Absolutely.
Every single one of us.
Yes, we have. Absolutely.
Every single one of us. And to say that we haven't been.
Yeah.
Right. Would be an outright lie. So.
Yeah.
You
know, and it still exists in North America.
Huge.
Like it's just not on the surface.
If you don't have the family name, if you don't have the car, if you don't have the watch, or if you're not part of this club, right?
That's right.
Like then you're a nobody.
That's right.
So I think we need to bring the dignity back.
Yes.
Me personally.
Yes.
And the compassion for
humanity back.
Other people's circumstance, because we never walk a mile in anyone else's shoes. We only walk a mile in our own fucking shoes.
And then we forget what it's like to be in somebody else's shoes.
Or the other interesting one too is that someone that makes it successfully, right? They get to a point potentially, and we've seen this a lot. Actually in our journey. Is, you know, they've been successful people in business or MLM or something, whatever, doesn't really matter, but then they forget where they came from. You know, but the analogy is that
humble beginnings,
everything started from zero.
And
everything started from zero.
So It's interesting, because last night I had a sleepless night. I'd say it's the remnants probably from the full moon the night before, but
Blame
anyway,
it on the moon.
it's the
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Either way, I didn't sleep. So I was thinking about that that massive mansion in Victoria. We won't say the name.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
friggin' wow.
Yeah. And he was a farmer that had
Yeah.
sold his farm
Sold the
in
farm,
Alberta.
started building.
Yeah, and built this massive mansion in Victoria on Vancouver Island.
Absolutely gorgeous. Like he did all the work with his son. Just absolutely
unbelievable,
like, spectacular.
pristine. Like it was just only the ultra wealthy could afford something like that. Like ultra wealthy. Like that's not no. So anyway, it was an Airbnb because they didn't actually live in it. It was a venue. A venue, yeah. But they didn't actually live in it because his wife, who was from South Africa, right?
I think so, yeah.
She grew up with a dirt floor in South Africa. And so for her, it was far too expansive of a place for her to live in. And she just liked living in her little 1,200 square foot
condo
house. Like it was just a small house with their 10 kids and or 9 kids, whatever. It was a lot of kids. But she preferred to live in her little tiny home with her family and her husband than in that massive mansion that he built for them, actually. And
it was nice. Had its own infinity pool and helicopter pad.
Oh my God.
Separate workshop garage.
It was unbelievable. Wasn't it like 40 some?
No, 10 million.
Was it 10 million?
It was on 43 acres, right on
43
right
acres.
On the hill,
okay, that's what I'm thinking.
overlooking Brentwood Bay. Absolutely gorgeous.
Unbelievable location, gorgeous. And that's why for a venue, it was unbelievable.
Weddings and stuff.
Yeah, it was still though. You can't help but go, well, it is very excessive because nobody needs that. But
that there is a judgment.
I know it is. No, but it was excessive for. How do you say that then? It was.
It's not. It just is.
Okay.
Right. It just is, and it exists.
Stunning. It was totally beautiful. Yeah. It just, yeah.
It existed for those for whom it existed.
Yeah. And when you consider that a place downtown Toronto would cost several $1 million for a little house, that was a steal of a deal, actually. But anyway, we've been there more than once, and it was just, oh my God, it was stunningly beautiful.
Really nice.
But it just put me in the mind of his wife and how humble she still was, even though they had all that money.
Right, but even that.
Yeah.
Right? Think about that.
Yeah, she was a beautiful person. She really was.
Right.
They both were. Gary was.
No, they were exceptional people.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that he had the ability to create something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He did it because he could.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sold the farm in Alberta. He had the money and he had the capability, he and his son, to do what they did. And oh my goodness.
They did everything, all the millwork.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Cabinets.
It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So no, it's not a judgment. I'm not judging them for being excessive, Kevin. I'm not. I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Right.
It's just for me personally, I would never need something like that. I would not need that massive mansion on the side of the cliff and in Victoria. And,
but again, it's not about.
It's okay though.
It's not about need.
Okay.
Right. It's got nothing to do with any of that. Right.
What does it have to do with, Kevin?
It's got to do with where you want to be.
That's right.
Right? It's where you want to be, where you're comfortable being.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about saying, would I live there? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I would live there.
Okay. I don't want to clean it.
No, but it's not about that. It's not about that either. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's about, and I'm not saying that we'd ever buy it or we'd ever build something similar.
No.
Because it's about what do you need? What do you need?
What do you need? Yeah. I'd like a log home.
Yeah, log home would be awesome.
I like log home, like it reminds me of our old camp in Riley Brook and that was the old logs, but I like that whole idea. Yeah.
But the thing is that we have
energy efficient.
But actually it's good that you brought that up, this house, because someone driving by would see the big gates, right? The all powered gates and the helicopter and what's beyond the gate and stuff like that would instantly make a judgment.
Yeah.
Right. Or you drive around where we live and there's beautiful homes, right, with lots of vehicles in the driveway and lots of toys and a boat and a dock and there's a brand new one going in down the road here right on the water.
Yep.
And we could pass judgment to say, wow, that person has money, right?
Yeah.
But just like we experienced in Vancouver, you've got areas of Vancouver with multi-million-dollar just properties, never mind the house, right? And it's empty because
owned by foreigners usually.
No, but that doesn't matter. The point is that people are mortgaged for it.
Yeah.
They want the image of what it looks like from the outside.
Oh, you mean when it's empty, like they live in it, but there's no furniture.
They have a bed, a mattress on the floor, and they're able to eat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and when you think about it, let's imagine that let's imagine that shit hits the fan in the world. Okay.
Do we have to?
Okay, then let's not imagine that shit hits the fan. No, I was just going to say, like, what would you do though? Like, if people were in a really bad way, truly starving, right, and need shelter, would they just take over those buildings in Vancouver? And you know what I mean? Like, would they just go and take those buildings over because they need a place to be? Like, what's the point of having? There's a lot of buildings there that are also just they're not occupied.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's anybody's guess right there as to how that's all going to play out, and
I do think things are going to.
Then this is where compassion plays in.
Yeah. Because
if there is compassion, if compassion creeps back in, dangerously creeps back into humanity. Right? If it does, then these kinds of talks are going to become fewer and far between. That's because it just becomes, again, part of what we are.
It is. I mean,
so it's what?
I firmly believe that is naturally a part of who we are. I do believe that compassion and empathy and stuff like that.
So now this is a rabbit hole, right, that we're getting into because there's been efforts out there to destroy this part of us.
Yeah.
Right. But
because we have so much consciousness, right? And that's not really doesn't seem to be present in a lot of other species.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily true either.
Well, oh my God, Kevin, honestly.
Well, if you're talking, but we can't say that because how many videos have we now watched online, right, of people petting and feeding fish, right? And, petting the crow.
But I think things have changed.
That's right. Things have changed.
I think things have changed.
There's been an energetic shift on this planet, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome. Yeah.
Right? So the challenge today is to bring your compassion back.
Yeah. I challenge you. Hey, you guys listening? I challenge you to hug a homeless person. And I know, does it sound rude calling them a homeless person? Well, I'm just describing them. It doesn't mean that I'm judging
them. But it also doesn't mean that they are homeless.
Wow. Yeah, they might live in a...
We've had great conversations with
what
people.
What did he say? He lives in a tent, though, right? He lives in the tent. Yeah.
But we chatted with people downtown Victoria years ago.
Yes.
And guy sitting there, right? Smiles on the sign, says smiles, free smiles.
Yeah.
Whatever. And he was making money. And we just start chatting with him. And lo and behold, he worked at a grocery store, right? Was able to save enough money to get an apartment. And he did it because it made him feel good.
Yeah. Well, that's why I hugged Mike. That was his name, Mike. Because it made me feel good. and it made him feel good as well. Like I really, you gave him a hug too, right?
Yeah.
Like it just, oh my God, it touched my heart in a way that I just, like seriously, I mean that it just, yeah. I wonder if they got more hugs, if it would, you never know if that could transform their lives, you know?
Well, and it may. The thing is that it needs to shift energetically.
Yeah.
So if you are from a culture that has a very entrenched caste system, and we've seen it because love doesn't recognize these boundaries. Human beings create the boundaries in our minds.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are from a culture like that, or from anywhere, and you recognize these divisions, right? And they're mental divisions is what they are. Oh, that person's, look at the shitbox that person's driving, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, look at that friggin' brand new Escalade, or
that person's not high enough on the
social status
for my son to marry. No, not at all. I didn't pick her. Right.
So think about this. So when we tie all of that back to the original start of this conversation, is maybe it's time to check your perceptions of others at the door. Right?
Yeah.
Because you really don't know.
Do you think Kevin knew that I was going to end up having epilepsy when he married me in 2006? No. But that started in 2014. So we were committed to one another, and Kevin didn't walk away. Some people would, like they would.
Oh, you want a good movie to reinforce that? Watch A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe. Watch it. Yeah. So the point is that when you're faced with these,
I've gone through hell. I will say that.
When you're faced with these life events, then it's important for others to not pass judgment, right? And just accept what is. And if you really don't know, don't presume to know, because that is probably the biggest barrier to us bringing dignity back into humanity, is that unless we ask the questions so that we can possibly try and understand what it's like to walk a mile in someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
Don't presume.
Yeah.
Do not presume, because presumption, right, makes an ass out of you
and me.
And umption.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin, cheapers, creepers.
Sorry, I dropped the movie line there.
You did. But I mean, the thing is that I've also been living with the experience of our daughter, Alex, who was living with us during the COVID bullshit, and Kevin not being willing to leave me alone. So for 3 or 4 years, I have not barely ever been left alone. So you want to talk like losing freedom, like holy shitballs. And it hasn't been easy to lose that kind of freedom, because I'm someone who would just like, I was used to having my freedom. I was used to jumping in the car and running to the store. I was used to just, I'm making a coffee date with a friend. So I'd go with a friend if Kevin was at work or whatever. And now those things are done because I can't drive. And, we're out in the country, so I can't just hop in a bus and, go meet a friend somewhere. But they won't leave me, or they wouldn't leave me alone. And there have been times over the last year or so that I have said, no, go do your work, go do what you need to do, leave me. And because I need to practice being alone, and we have to still live, right? And I mean, we've created this, and I understand that it's a protective prison. I understand that, but it still feels like a prison. And I can't do that. Like that's not me, and it's not what I desire for my life. And so I guess I would rather take the risk of, you know, having something happen where I do possibly die, or I'd rather do that than
Or
not live
get
my
injured.
life or get injured.
Because it's a trip to the ground that causes the problem.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
Right?
Hit my head, break my face, you know, something. There's always something. There's always been something. So, but I mean, you know, ultimately we can't live in fear either. Right. And living in fear serves no damn purpose really at all, except to hold you back from living your life. So, I mean, we've decided that we're just gonna live.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna create something that meshes with circumstance.
Yeah, with our lifestyle, what we need our lifestyle to be.
And for that, we need to create something that we can do and manage online.
Yep.
And
so
you know, that's part of the reason why we do these little chats, because we enjoy them.
Yeah.
Right. We like the feedback. We like to think that we're, you know, having good conversations for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's been some that have had a lot of views. And I think it's important that we have these discussions, because if someone's at their wit's end, if someone doesn't know what to do, it makes it difficult because they can't hold a job, or they are caretakers for someone else, which means they can't have a job or some other form, something like that. And maybe they are on assistance and they want to break free of that, because that is also too a prison in a way.
Yep.
And
it is.
Yeah. So
ODSP, like disability, that's another one, because they control you, right? They decide, they kind of make decisions for your life when you're on those programs, and they limit how much you can get, how much money you can make, and so forth. So it's not ideal. It's really not ideal at all. At all. We were convinced years ago to give it a try, to go sit in front of the ODSP officer or whatever, and we got so far into it, and then I finally just went, this is basically just glorified welfare, isn't it? And she went, well, pretty much. And I went, fuck that, forget it. No, we're not doing this. Absolutely not. This is not in our nature to do something like this.
Well, I mean, that being said, though, I mean, it's there for people that really need it.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
so
and that's
it was
fine.
important that it was there for someone else that really needed it.
That's
so
fine for them.
We'll figure something else out.
But we were just like, no, we're very capable, and we can figure something out. We're resourceful, and we have lots of skills, and we will draw on those skills and create our own economy. We aren't going to be dependent on the government for money. It was under a lot of pressure that we felt like, fine, we'll just go and ask the questions, but no way. Nope.
But either way,
not for us.
Here we are.
Here we are.
We're still here.
We're still here. We are still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drinking our coffee.
So yeah. So keep watching online, because we're going to start showing ourselves a little bit more. We got a few other things up our sleeves. And yeah, if people are just curious and want to know, just pop us a text or an email or a message or whatever. And yeah, more than happy to show you.
Aw.
Thanks, Lori.
Missed your coffee times. 2 years and 2 days ago, I left my job after a call about my father-in-law really sick and found in his bed. Yep. I've been his healthcare provider ever since that phone call. Yeah. He's 78 and lives alone on an acreage. I didn't want to leave him out of my sight for a while either, but I've given him some freedom. Yep. Absolutely.
And there's so much of that, Lori. It's amazing how much of that is, but it's tough, right?
Yeah.
It's tough unless there's a batch of cash sitting there that can help.
Yeah.
Right? It's really tough. So
yeah, absolutely. So we need to
do something different, right?
Yeah, we need to be open to different possibilities, and you know, like we said, we're doing something online. So that's how we're going to we are creating our economy.
Yeah.
There are solutions. So if you're interested, Lori, just DM me and I'll talk to you about it. But or I'll send you a link. But that's what we're doing.
Another
that's how
important
we're
part of
solving
this
that
equation,
problem.
though,
Yeah.
I will say that is to get this right
Oh yes.
and this right.
That's to get your mind and heart
right
in alignment.
Absolutely. So if
Absolutely.
there's any beliefs or emotions that are sitting out there in no man's land that sometimes rear their heads, got to get dealt with. And that's fortunately something that we do really well.
It is something we do really well.
Right? Is to help people with that. So we've had people reach out to us and we'll see. So
we're going to get back to doing our programs that we haven't done for a while because of me. I admit that it's because of me that we haven't done our programs. It's like
the Far Side comic, right? With this,
I am not a Far Side comic.
With the scope, right? And there's two bears in the scope, and the one bear realizes they're being scoped, and he's going like this.
Hey, I openly admit that it is my fault that we have not been doing our trainings because we love to do them. They have a lot of impact.
But that being said, because we've known that things have had to go online for some time. I mean, I think the last thing I heard is that the online learning industry is like $1.2 billion a day.
And in 3 years, it's going to be $1 trillion
it's going
a
to
day.
Be crazy, right?
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. And exactly. Yeah. So the thing is that we've had this course, we've had this program for quite some time. Now what we're doing is we're making a shift in how it's delivered.
Yeah.
Right. Why part of it will be the online component. The other part will be live with us.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, it's still we're going to be live with people doing the change work. Absolutely.
Have to.
But we haven't been doing it online with people. So this is the shift for us. Like this is
so we got a test coming up, which is going to be good.
Yeah, we're doing a course in November. We're very happy about that with a gal we're partnering with in the States.
Yeah.
She's someone who's very interesting too because she took on Pfizer. She is not just a whistleblower. She actually took on Pfizer. So she's quite the individual, isn't she?
So there are options. There's lots of options.
Oh yeah.
There's plenty of options out there. We just have to be, because here's the interesting thing about especially the last 4 years is that everything that people have come to know as traditional, quote unquote traditional, it's out the window, and people just have to do something different.
Yeah.
And it's the Monty Python line, and now for something completely different. Right. And that's what we've had to do. They were definitely ahead of their time for sure. Those folks.
Oh, hell yes.
But the idea too is that we have that concept of the traditional type of work where someone will go to work and get a job and stay in that company, get the golden watch and the pension and the handshake, and all that shit has been out the window for some time. Right? It just, unless you're into maybe academia or, a super large company in management or something, but even them, they float around too.
Oh yeah.
Right? But the concept of just get a job and stay there,
it's just those days are over.
It's done, man.
Pretty much.
It's done. It's been done for some time.
Yeah.
So, and then you throw a curveball into it, like having someone that has a condition or whatever, and then that's definitely done for.
I'm sorry, dear.
No, it doesn't matter. It's the direction we've needed to go in. So we just are finally embracing the reality of that.
I accept that I have, I don't even know how to say it. I am, or I have an epilepsy.
No, you experience seizures.
I experience seizures.
Let's be very clear about this, because part of this discussion is also about changing the discussion. It's like talking about stress, post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
Right? It's no different of a discussion about talking about that.
Yeah.
Because the system wants you to believe that it's a disorder because they're the ones that throw the fucking D on the end of it.
Yeah.
Right? And why do they throw a D on the end of it? Right? They throw a D on the end of it so they can drug it.
Yeah.
And you can own it.
Yeah.
How many times have you said maybe, or you've heard other people say, my post-traumatic, my PTSD, my
depression.
anxiety, my depression.
Yeah.
You add that my in front of it and you own it. It's absolutely yours.
And so, I've been very resistant to
the seizure,
claiming that title. I really have.
No, but the seizure is a result of something.
Yeah, like it's
and
not
this is
just
where the medical establishment
coming from
has to get its fucking head out of its ass.
It's true.
Right? I'll say this right now. If you're a doctor or whatever that's listening to this, you got to get your head out of your ass. Because the seizure is a result of something that's going on in the body. It's not a neurological condition, right? It's a result. There's a trigger somewhere. And here's the beautiful thing about the path that we've taken is that there's no medications involved. So what we're experiencing is the purity of the events surrounding the experience of a seizure.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing jading it with like any kind of
nothing's masked. There's no fog.
No.
Right? There's nothing. So what we have discovered was that there's hormonal connections, right? And now there's an intestinal connection.
That has been there.
Right? It's just, here's why doctors have to get their heads out of their asses. And that is because if someone shows up and says, right, I had a seizure, and they go through all the things and they say, yeah, well, that looks like this and this, take this drug, take a fucking hike, right? Because unless you guys have access to all the diagnostic equipment to be able to pinpoint, right, potential sources or the trigger. The other issue that you people need to figure out is working together. So this moving into the new world, which is where we're at right now, is going to be about cooperation.
Totally.
Right? And the compartmentalization that's been created in the medical establishment. I have to have a GP as my doctor, right? No. And then you have specialists. I have a specialist for my ear. I got a specialist for my shoulder. I got a specialist for fill in the blank. Right?
Yeah.
You guys need to fucking get together.
Yeah.
Because
this is a whole system here.
It's an integrated system, and it works synergistically when it's working properly.
That's right.
Right? And you can't just say I'm gonna take this component out of it. Right? You have to look at things from a holistic perspective.
Absolutely. I agree.
So
that's the thing. That's what we'd like to see.
And we've tried that. We've talked to neurologists. We've talked to these people. And we suggest, you know what? We know that there's a hormonal connection.
And a dietary connection.
Hormones don't cause seizures. Right? It's like, you fucking ignorant bitch. No, seriously. You're fired.
We fired her.
You're absolutely fired.
The last neurologist.
The absolute arrogance is just
get this. Maybe I already told the story, but I'll tell it real quick. The last neurologist we went to, August, I think.
Bless his heart.
Oh, he was such a nice man. Not really. But anyway, he didn't believe in informed consent. Mm-hmm. And so here he was.
Blind obedience, he believed in.
Yes. And here he was trying to write me a prescription. He's like, well, I suppose I'll write it basically and you won't take it. Well, what are the side effects? Can you tell me the side effects? Oh, well, if I list all the side effects, there's like 1,000 of them. And
we're gonna do some research then on our own.
Yeah, we'll do some research.
What does he say next?
He said, oh my God, everybody that does research end up not taking it. What? I said,
what does that tell you?
There's probably a good reason.
You're such a genius.
Why people aren't taking it when they do the research on the side effects. Oh, there's like 1,000 side effects. Oh my God. Including death. So I'm just like, no thanks. No, there's something called informed consent, and I'm not willing to take.
And you just didn't give it.
No.
So anyway, that's a side rant.
Oh my God.
the side rant. No, there's changes. It's shifting right now.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not people are going to catch up to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that there's a lot of people that were let go or ostracized or whatever in the last 4 years because of their refusal to take something that or participate in the shenanigans, right? And maybe there's a place in the new world for them because they were thinkers.
Yeah. Critical thinkers.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. We need people like that.
Mm-hmm.
We need.
But yeah, so if you're living with challenges like that, if you're living,
we empathize.
100%.
We absolutely empathize.
You know, or just want to make a change or something like that, just drop us a line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're willing to chat.
Yeah, or just we'll share some resources with you. No problem.
Yeah, we love to share. Sharing is caring.
Love it, and it is.
And it is. It totally is. Absolutely. There's no point in keeping stuff to ourselves.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
Yeah.
Not helping other people do
our
that.
mission on this planet is to bring people together.
Yeah.
End human suffering and help as many people as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
that's the goal.
We need help.
We need help with that.
We need help with that for sure. Anybody else that wants to help with that, we're open to it.
Let us know. We're recruiting.
No, but we need to motivate as many people as possible to, take control and care of themselves.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed to, and I've said this before in maybe another coffee time, but I was working a restoration job here locally, and it was at a clinic, and the majority of the work had been done. We were just finishing up the baseboard in the hallway and stuff like that, but the clinic rooms were still active, and one was open right by where I was working, and this doctor had a patient in there on the little exam table or whatever, and they were having a conversation. And I want you to listen very carefully to this language. The doctor asked the patient, "So, tell me, who is taking care of your heart?"
Dun, dun, dun.
Who is taking care of your heart? So that has stuck with me like friggin' flies on shit.
It has.
It's just, what the hell kind of question is that?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking in the hallway. I'm like, what?
Isn't he in charge of his heart?
Isn't the guy that owns the heart in charge of his heart?
Kinda, yeah.
What? But think about that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, so fun times.
Yeah.
Anyway, we love the engagement. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Lori, for.
We're going to run to town today, get a few things done.
Yeah, we'll be back on
and visit
Tuesday.
Some people, and we're looking at Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
With bells on and certainly coffee.
Yes.
Right?
So have a great weekend.
And if you want to know what we're doing, just let us know.
Yeah.
We'll share it.
Yeah.
We're going to get it out there too, so you'll probably see it around. But just fun times.
You too, Lori. Have a beautiful day. Take care and stay safe as well.
For sure.
Yep. We understand.
Yes.
We understand what you're going through. We really do. So it's definitely a challenge.
Yep.
And you are the people that we want to help.
Yeah.
Because we have so much, reverence for what you're doing, and we're there, right? We're living it. And with Kevin's parents being the age they are, I mean, there's going to come a point probably in the not too distant future where we're going to be maybe helping them too.
There'll be
a whole other shift in our lives. So
no problema.
Yeah. So. But anyway, everybody have a great day. Thanks for chiming in, and feel free to share this out.
Yep.
Like it if you liked it. If you have any requests for, I don't know, topics or something, we could probably say that. Like, why don't you guys let us know?
We know a lot about a lot,
topic.
right? And we have opinions about a lot.
Well, we definitely do. Yes.
So if you want us to talk about something or you have questions that you want answered,
Yeah.
throw them up there and send them to us.
Like we can do Q&A,
yeah,
a Q&A one.
that'd be awesome.
That would be great.
For sure.
And I mean, we're even considering the possibility of maybe bringing a special guest in once in a while and interviewing as well. So we'll see.
That's a different kind of format, though.
It is a kind of different kind of format, but we'll see.
A special occasion.
We'll see. Yeah.
We want it to be all about us, of course.
Yeah, we do. It doesn't. Yeah, like that's just yeah.
Anyway, let's make it happen.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Oops.
Easy with the mic there.
Bye. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.